Marty McFly once said, you know, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. Yeah, China. When it comes to studying, especially when you go through that long phase where you have to try and get into the whole vibe of studying, no, it doesn't work, my bro. Such great progress. As usual, I thought about this today. While I was watching a horror film, you know, when you are in that stage of waking up and becoming, well, mentally active to go on with your day. Do you guys remember the movie 30 Days of Night with those vampires in a small town in Alaska where there's a lot of snow? Okay, well, Alaska. I then saw that there was a sequel or a second one, and that's where my mind clicked. So, what I would like to talk about today is about horror films. Now, we have various different kinds of horror films. Each are portrayed in different ways and are targeting a certain group. Mostly when we think about horror films, it's those films that are usually very violent, disgusting, strange, scary, inappropriate, and that's just taken away movies like Insidious and Paranormal Activity. Those are more thrillers than horrors. But now, I would like to focus on those horror movies. Firstly, which are like those low budget movies. Or when the company or the movie industry tries to make either a sequel, trilogy, or more versions of that particular movie. As well as those movies being R-rated 18 movies. So you must be at least 18 to watch those movies. So for adults, I would just like you guys to know that everything that I'm going to say right now is entirely my opinion and how I feel about those movies that I'm going to mention right now. Okay? Cool? Lekker. Now, there have been many horror films that have been critically acclaimed by the world. Movies like Wrong Turn, Saw, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Those movies became so popular in the world during the time of its release because of its brilliance, the way it's been portrayed, the amount of detail, and its connection to a true story that happened long ago. That's cool. But sometimes it's better to let there just be one movie. When they try too hard to make a sequel, or even a trilogy, or even more than that. For example, Saw. The first one, brilliant. Disgusting, yet brilliant. But the moment they started making Saw 2 up to, I think there was a fifth one or something like that, or I don't know, quite a few. Then the industry somehow would try so hard to either make it more disgusting, more visual, more detailed, just more screwed up, including Wrong Turn. Wrong Turn 2, Wrong Turn 3, Wrong Turn 4. And fun enough, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in those kind of movies, they would always bring an element of, how can I put it, sex into the movie. Especially movies like The Hills of Eyes, Friday the 13th, Wrong Turn, Scream, and many more. If you've noticed, since the second one came out, up to whatever amount they've made, there's always sex involved in it, or teenagers, or students, or whatever. Why do you do that? Is that supposed to drive us to watch the movie more? Nah, bro. And also, because a certain person or a certain company or a certain corporation comes up with the idea of making a sequel or a trilogy or whatever for that particular movie because of how popular it was when the first one was released. Once they give clearance to make a second one or whatever, and it obviously just becomes more screwed up. What went through their mind to tell the director or the writer and even the actors to make it so disgusting, inappropriate, harmful, rubbish? Why? What's clapping in your mind, my boy? You definitely are. Yeah, you definitely are. Look, there are many horror films, but I'm talking about those that are a bit gory, violent, that kind of vibe, which are brilliant, which is usually the first one that has been made. But when they try to make more of those, you can see that they are trying too hard to bring more detail of whatever element into that movie, and you're just like, okay. And let's not forget about those low budget ones, the ones that either didn't appear in like a premiere or even in the movies, and how hard they try to make it realistic. Yet there's no storyline to it, there's no point, it's just disgusting. Is that supposed to poetically stimulate my mind and see the beauty and elegance of the beast? Nah, bro. Me personally, I'm not much of a fan of those kind of horror movies where there's a lot of gore, violence, guts, blood. I don't like it because I feel that it's just inappropriate. It's harmful to those younger. We've all done this when we were younger, either when our parents were away from the house, or we would stay up freck late until like 2 o'clock in the morning because we know that a certain movie is coming on, and we turn on the TV, either put it on mute or very softly, and we watch those movies, and then there's nightmares. I just personally feel that those kind of movies bring no real significance to us. But yeah, I just had to talk about this. I don't understand what went through the people who sponsored or contributed the money to make it, or really wanted this to happen. I don't know what's going through their heads, whether they're on drugs, or they're just insane, or both. But that's my video for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please feel free to give me your thoughts, opinions, attitudes regarding horror films, but especially those that are R18 rated kind of movies. And what the hell went through their minds to make those movies that we know isn't going to be critically acclaimed? So in other words, those that cannot beat the first one. Yeah, those ones. As well as those that are just rubbish. Those who do enjoy those kind of movies, yeah, I have nothing to say. Glad that you have interests. I are going to study now. But till then, bugger off!